Continuing with the previous session, in the previous session I have discussed about break-even point, break-even analysis. Break-even point means a point at which the total revenue or total income is equal to the total cost involved. There were two types of cost we have discussed, fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed cost, that is independent upon the quantity produced, like depreciation cost, some salary we are giving to the employees even we are not producing any item on holidays or even in non-production time. And second is the variable cost, that is the cost which is dependent upon the quantity produced, and it is increasing as the quantity is increasing. So, and we have obtained by proper analysis a point above which profit is increasing and below which loss is increasing, and we have to find what are the reasons to reduce the losses. In this case, inventory control, again we have to control the inventory, and we have to minimize the cost, but the costs are different, that we will discuss in the coming slides. So, inventory control is the process of keeping the right number of parts and products in stock to avoid shortages, overstocks and other costly problems. Shortages means we have to supply the material to some other department, some other organization or to customer. So, to provide those quantities to customer in right time, we have to avoid the shortages. Overstocks means we have to maintain the overstocks means we have to maintain the inventory, we have to place those extra inventory in some warehouse, and we have to pay for that, like rent we have to pay. Some fragile items are there, so we have to maintain that. Some items that are depend upon the climate, so some air conditioning is required. So, all these costs are comes under this overstocks, and some other costly problems are there. So, our aim is to find that quantity at which the total cost will be minimum. Now, in this one parameter is called economic order quantity, that is defined. In y axis here, cost is there, annual cost is there. This is and this is of two types, one is ordering cost and second is holding cost. Ordering cost is the cost when we are placing some order, and it is like some employees we have to pay for employees, some transportation cost is there for receiving the goods, some postal charges are there. And second is the holding cost. Holding cost means inventory carrying, warehouse cost, rent for warehouse, like this. So, holding cost is increasing linearly, and it is depend upon the number of inventory which we are having, but the ordering cost is decreasing as the number of quantity is increasing, means ordering cost depend upon the number of orders, and if the number of quantity in a lot is increasing, the number of orders annually is decreasing. That is why the ordering cost is decreasing like that. So, holding cost directly proportional to the quantity. Now, these two cost, holding cost and total cost, is ordering cost plus holding cost. Now, what we are seeing from this diagram, when holding cost is increasing and ordering cost is decreasing, at a point is this is the point at which the ordering cost equal to the holding cost, and this is also we can see that the cost is decreasing here, total cost, and then it is increasing again, you see. So, this is the point at which the point total cost is minimum, and it is called the economic order quantity. So, our objective is to find what is the economic order quantity. This we will derive in coming slides. Now, inventory carrying cost, that is the rent for stores, maintenance cost for stores, maintenance cost, some air conditioning is requirement to maintain some packaging for cost fragile items, some glasses items, like loss of material due to theft, stationery and other consumable used in stores. Then inventory carrying ordering cost, salaries for the people employed, rent for the office, postages, telephonic charges for communication purpose, some computer charges for placing order to take the prints, purchase order, like that, traveling charges, transportation of materials, stationery and other charges. So, these are the two types of cost. Now, let A is the annual requirement, that is the number of units, Q is the quantity per order, CI is the cost of material per unit in rupees, S is the ordering cost per unit in rupees. So, the total cost TC equal to the ordering cost and inventory carrying cost. Now, ordering cost equal to the cost per order multiplied by number of orders placed, and the number of orders per years, that is the annual requirement, which is capital A, divided by quantity in each order, that is Q. Therefore, ordering cost equal to the S into A by Q, where S is the cost for each order, and inventory carrying cost, that is equal to the Q by 2 into CI. Here I took average inventory Q by 2, not Q, because the inventory initially we are having the full inventory, then it is decreasing, and at one point it becomes 0. So, for that period we have considered the average inventory, and it is Q by, so inventory carrying cost is Q by 2 into CI. Now, at economic order quantity, the total cost should be minimum, as we have seen in the previous slides in the diagram, that for minimum total cost, the ordering cost is equal to inventory carrying cost. So, A by Q into S, that is the ordering cost. So, total cost TC equal to ordering cost A by Q into S plus Q by 2 into CI, that is the inventory carrying cost. Now, to find the minimum, we have to differentiate this equation by Q. Q is the variable quantity, dq, that is minus A S over Q square plus CI over 2. Now, for minima and maxima, we have to put dTC over dq, this is equal to 0. So, from this we can easily see that A by Q into S equal to Q by 2 into CI, and it is this A by Q to CI. Now, to whether it is maximum or minimum, we again differentiate this this equation, that is dTC d2c over dq2, and we obtain this is positive value. So, this is the minimum, we will get the minimum value of Q. Now, by interchanging the values, we see that Q square equal to 2 AS divided by Ci, or Q equal to under root 2 AS upon Ci, or Q is the economic order quantity, which is equal to the under root 2 AS divided by Ci. So, this is the economic order quantity at which the total cost is minimum, and the total cost and the ordering cost and inventory cost are equal. Now, we can solve the problems. So, first example 1, if the demand for an item is 3600 per annum, procurement cost is rupees 100, procurement cost is the ordering cost, and the carrying cost is rupees 2 per unit per annum. Calculate the EOQ, that is economic order quantity. Now, solution, we have the data A equal to 3600 units, S equal to rupees 100 per order, carrying cost per unit per annum is Ci equal to rupees 2, EOQ is equal to under root 2 AS divided by Ci, or EOQ equal to 2 into 3600 into 100, that is the carrying cost, divided by 2. So, it will be 600 units. Now, second question is calculate the economic order quantity and total cost of inventory for an industry whose annual consumption of an item is 12,000 units per year. The procurement cost or the ordering cost is rupees 15 per order. Inventory carrying cost per year is rupees 1. Now, solution, again we have A equal to 12,000 units, S is rupees 15, Ci inventory carrying cost is rupees 1. So, by simply applying the formula EOQ equal to under root 2 AS divided by Ci equal to under root 2 into 12,000 into 15 divided by 1, and it is 100 into 6, which is equal to 600 units. So, economic order quantity is 600 units. Now, we have to find the total cost. So, we know that inventory carrying cost is Q by 2 into Ci, Q is 600, Ci is 1, it is 300. Ordering cost S into A by Q, S is 15, A is 12,000 and Q is 600. It is again same 300 and 300, and we can we also know that the inventory carrying cost is equal to the ordering cost. So, total cost is equal to the ordering cost plus inventory carrying cost, that is 300 300 or rupees 600, or we can say that it is also equal to the 2 into ordering cost, or equal to 2 into inventory carrying cost. So, this is 2 into 300, which is equal to 600 rupees. So, total cost is 600 rupees. Now, next is the ABC analysis. It is another method to control the inventory, and in this method we have to categorize the inventory in 3 ways: category A, category B and category C. In category A, products are very critical, very valuable to the company. So, like we can say pistons, these are very critical component, and they are having the value 70% of the total inventory. So, and it is the quantity is 10% to the total inventory. Products are very critical, always reserved for the biggest money makers. It represents most valuable and the highest quality product. Such products are participating heavily to the overall profit without costing much when it comes to the seller's resources. Next is the category B. In this, the products are less critical than category A products, and their value is 20% of the total items, and their quantity is also the 20%. Then category C, in this the items are very critical. In category B, this category in particular holds the potential to either get moved into category A if the sales are good, or can even slip down to category C. In category C, items are less critical and valuable, like nut bolts, screws. These are the items which we can consider in category C. These products don't individually contribute much value to either the seller or to the business, and they are having 70% in quantity of the total inventory which we are having, and the value is only 10% of the total items. This is the Pareto curve for ABC products. From this we can easily see that class A item, these are the class A items, and these are only 10% in numbers, but their value is 70% of the value of total number of items which we are having. In class B, it is 20%, and their value is again 20%. In this, the number of items are 70% and the items are having 10% value. So this is the ABC analysis. Next is the replacement analysis. Replacement analysis is one of the crucial analysis in capital budgeting. An asset life may be reduced due to physical impairment, means physical damage because of some depreciation is there, some climatic conditions are there, usability of the machines products that will reduce the life of the machine, wear and tear of that because of friction is there and there is a wear and tear is there, some corrosion is there, changes in economic requirements and rapid changes in technology. Rapid changes in technology that makes the system obsolete, and we have to update the system, we have to add some functionality on the machine or some technology that we can integrate in the existing system so that it becomes valuable. So these are the factors that make obsolete and assets prior to expectation. So the replacement is desired. The replacement of assets offer economic opportunity for the firm. In this, we will discuss different methods of the depreciation related to replacement analysis, and we find the value of the machine or the component. So the first method is straight line method, and second is the diminishing balance method. In a straight line method, in this method, it is assumed that the loss of value of machine is directly proportional to its age. Thus, in this method, the amount charged as depreciation is same every year, means the depreciation is same in each year, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and depreciation amount per year is calculated as capital D equal to the C minus N divided by N. Depreciation amount per year, capital D equal to C minus N S divided by capital N, where C is the initial cost of machine, S is the scrap value, and N is the number of years of life of machine. Now we can take the example so that we can easily get understood what is the straight line method. In this example, a drilling machine was purchased for rupees 85,000 on 1st January 1985. The installation cost being rupees 19,000. The drilling machine was replaced by a new one on 31st December 2004. If the scrap value of the drilling machine was estimated as rupees 30,000, what should be the rate of depreciation and depreciation fund on 15th June 1994? So we have to find the rate of depreciation and the total fund on 15th June 1994. Now the solution is there. Initial cost of drilling machine, that is C is equal to the cost of drilling machine plus installation charges. Cost of drilling machine is rupees 85,000. Installation charges are 19,000. So total cost is rupees 1,04,000. Scrap value is rupees 30,000. Life of the drilling machine capital N is equal to from 1st January 1985 to 31st December 2004, it is 20 years. Therefore, rate of depreciation per year capital D equal to C minus S over capital N. It is 1,04,000 minus 30,000 divided by 20, and it comes out to be rupees 3,700. So, the depreciation fund on 15th June 1994, that is we have to means there are 9 installments of depreciation, that is from 1st January 1985 to 15th June 1994 should be considered, and it is equal to the 9 into 3,700 means rate of depreciation in each year, that is remains same in this case by this method, and it will be rupees 33,300. Now, if after 10 years of running some parts like bearing, motors of the drilling machines are replaced and the replacement cost is rupees 2,000, what will be the new rate of depreciation? We have to find the new rate of depreciation because some replacement cost is there. So, solution: replacement charges after 10 years equal to rupees 2,000. Book value of drilling machine at the end of 10th year equal to value of drilling machine after 10 years plus replacement charges, and it is equal to rupees 1,04,000 minus 10 into 3,700 because value of drilling machine after 10 years plus replacement charges, that is 2,000. So, it will be rupees 69,000. Now, scrap value is rupees 30,000, it is same. Therefore, depreciation per year for the remaining 10 years. So, the last value is 69,000 minus scrap value divided by 10, and it is 3,900. So, the new rate of depreciation per year is rupees 3,900. Now, this is the second method, diminishing balance method. In this method, a fixed percentage is written off each year on the balance brought forward, so that the asset is reduced to its residual value at the end of its life. Means in this method, in the last method, the depreciation rate is same in every year, but in this case a fixed percentage of the depreciation will decrease the value of the machine, and in the second year that value is considered, and from that value again we have to difference the fixed percentage, so that in each year the value of the machine is decreasing. Now, if x equal to x is the fixed percentage taken to calculate the yearly depreciation on the book value, then x equal to 1 minus n, where n is the number of years of life, under root s is scrap value divided by capital C, that is the initial cost. Now, we can see by some example. A lathe machine having scrap value is rupees 25,000 after 10 years, and the purchase value is rupees 1 lakh. If the depreciation is charged by diminishing balance method, calculate the percentage by which the value of the lathe machine is reduced every year and depreciation fund after 2 years. Now, solution: first we have to find the percentage x, what percentage that decrease the value of the machine. So, x equal to 1 minus n s over c. C is the initial cost, which is 1 lakh, s is the scrap value, which is rupees 25,000, and n is the life of machine, which is 10 years. Therefore, x equal to 1 minus 10, 25,000, that is the scrap value, and cost is 1 lakh, and it is 0.1294 or 12.94%, means in every year 12.94% is the value of the machine is decreasing. So, that value after each year, every year the value of the machine will get change. Now, for first year we are calculating for first year value of the lathe machine after first year equal to book value at the beginning of first year minus depreciation at 12.94% on book value, and it is equal to the 1 lakh minus 1 lakh into 0.1294, and it is equal to the rupees 87,060. Therefore, so this is the value of the machine after first year. Therefore, depreciation fund of first year equal to the rupees 1 lakh minus rupees 87,600, means rupees 12,940, means we have to keep this fund each year, means after 1 year we have to maintain this fund. And now see, after for second year value of the machine after second year equal to book value at the beginning of second year. Book value of the beginning of second year is 87,060. So, in this method it becomes change minus depreciation at 12.94% on book value, and it is that 12.94% of this value. So, again we find that the value of the machine after second year is this one, but in the previous case the value of the machine means it is remains same. Therefore, depreciation fund of second year equal to rupees 87,060 minus rupees 7594.43, it is equal to the 11,265.57. So, after second year the depreciation fund is this one. So, we see that after first year it is 12,940, but after second year it is 11,265. So, this value become this is decreasing and but continuously changing. Therefore, depreciation fund after 2 years equal to the depreciation fund of first year plus depreciation fund of second year, means we have to add the fund for each year and it is changing. So, after first year it is 12,940, and in the after second year it is 11,265.57. So, this is the total value and it is equal to the 0.575 24,205.57 rupees. So, this is about the replacement analysis. So, in this lecture we have discussed two topics. One is inventory control and second is replacement analysis. In inventory control we have obtained the inventory, optimal inventory at which the total cost is minimum. Total cost means there are two type of cost. One is ordering cost, second is the inventory carrying cost. Ordering cost is related, ordering cost or procurement cost, that is related to the placing the order of a particular item, and carrying cost is the cost associated with carrying the inventory after receiving of the inventory, like cost of the warehouse, rent for the warehouse, like this. And we see that at the optimal quantity total cost is minimum and the ordering cost equal to the inventory carrying cost, or total cost equal to the 2 times either ordering cost or inventory carrying cost. Next, we have discussed about replacement analysis. We have discussed two types of method. One is straight line method and second is diminishing balance method. In a straight line method, depreciation rate is means depreciation value we have considered, it depend upon the number of depend upon the age, but in the diminishing balance method the value is decreasing, depreciation rate is at a constant rate, it is the value of the machine is different in each year, and then we have obtained the depreciation fund for each year. So, this is total about the today's topic. Okay, in the next lecture we will discuss about the some productivity, how we can improve the productivity, and there are different methods to improve the productivity. Thank you.